provide free high-definition coverage of Bermuda's biggest ever international event. Let us take you on a one-year journey from a crippling lightning strike to a dramatic broadcasting revolution that has garnered international praise. Watch at 8 p.m. on Monday, December 4th, rebroadcast on Thursday, December 7th on ZBM.
Let the Marketplace help you pull together any party or any special occasion. The Marketplace Food Court offers all kinds of dishes, dinners, and sushi made to order. Choose from a variety of party platters, whether it's chicken wings or shrimp, classic meat and cheese, fruit and vegetables. Between the Marketplace Food Court and the Marketplace Bakeries, we have everything you need and more. Let the Marketplace be your kitchen away from home. Visit us 7 days a week for quality service and prices you can count on.
Live from Bermuda Broadcasting, this is ZBM TV9 News.
Good evening, everyone. It's Friday, December the 1st, 2017. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us tonight. On the heels of the Bermuda Union of Teachers taking the Department of Education to task over the failure of the government to put forward the strategic plan for public education, Education Minister Diallo Rebane unveiled in the House of Assembly Plan 2022, a multi-year strategic plan for Bermuda's public schools.
It's a comprehensive plan to take our education system and transform it from what we consistently have. And there are things out there that people think that the education system is not working for our people and such. So we're looking at things that not only putting things in place for our children to have a better chance at becoming more rounded in terms of the education system. There's also plans in there to hold teachers, educators, all of the entities that deliver education accountable as well. It talks about how we need to improve our infrastructure. It talks about the different things we need to do with our various curriculums and how we plan to get to that point. And so right now we have this document that's out there, and I encourage everybody to read it, but also know that in tandem with this document will be an implementation document that will be developed that will talk through these various entities. And within there, because it's multi-year, there are things that speak to what needs to be done before the next steps need to be done, instead of everything just being done overnight and creating that concern that people have that things are changing so rapidly. And what I like about this plan is not just a list of ideas that hey, you should try this and maybe it will work. This is an actual comprehensive plan that takes you from day one to year 5, to the last day of the 5th year, and it has built into it how we can measure these steps and see if they're being effective and the things that we need to. And then because once we have milestones built in, we can see, are we making it? Are we ahead? Are we behind? And then we can make adjustments, because as I mentioned previously, parts of the plan as we go through, they depend on the beginning parts to be implemented.
Now, we've seen plans, initiatives like this come up in the past and then just sit on shelves collecting dust. What guarantee do we have that that will not be the case with 2025?
Well, one thing that this plan has is that it's the community involvement. And it was very important for us to be out there and see what is it the community thinks needs to happen with education. So when you have something that's driven by the community, you're not just showing up with a plan and saying, this is what we're doing. Everybody who's contributed, everybody knows that they've had some input into it. And you do that because you want to be held accountable. And you want the people to say, hey, this is what we demanded. Why aren't we moving towards that? So that's why I look at this plan as something that that is community driven, community based, and community owned. And so if everybody gets on board, we can move this forward. This is not a plan that's going to sit on the shelf.
In other news, the issue of visas and Bermuda passports continuing to prove a problem, particularly for individuals who are not Bermudian but hold BOTC status. In one incident, a spouse of a Bermudian who had been naturalized but did not possess Bermudian status was denied entry to the U.S. It turns out that under U.S. law, as explained by Home Affairs Minister Walton Brown, persons with BOTC passports but are not Bermudian will not be allowed into the U.S. visa-free.
Persons using BOTC passports but are not displaying the observation, and I quote, holder is registered as a Bermudian, unquote, will not be permitted entry to the U.S. without a visa. Additionally, it should be noted that Bermudians traveling with BOTC passports that are not displaying the above-mentioned observation will not be eligible for entry to the U.S. under the visa-exempt classification. That observation in our passport is necessary to reflect that the person possesses Bermudian status to benefit from the visa-exempt classification. Other persons who qualify to possess BOTC passports but do not possess Bermudian status and are therefore not eligible to obtain the observation. Whoever is registered as a Bermudian will not be permitted travel to the U.S. as a visa-exempt national.
Therefore, the minister issuing this piece of advice.
There are a number of persons who qualify for and who do possess BOTC Bermuda passports, but they are not eligible for the grant of Bermudian status. Therefore, we encourage Bermudians to check their Bermuda passports to ensure that the observation has been added to their passport before traveling to the U.S. Persons who do not possess Bermudian status but who are in possession of a BOTC Bermuda passport are advised that if they plan to travel to the U.S., to either travel with a passport that identifies their citizenship, or if they're using the BOTC passport, make arrangements in advance to secure a U.S. visa.
In other news this evening, the majority of shares of the company that owns Clarion Bank has been acquired by the Jamaican-based NCB Financial Group Limited that will also be controlling shareholder of the bank. In a release today from Clarion Bank, the transaction has received approval from the Bank of Jamaica and a letter of no objection from the Bermuda Monetary Authority under the agreement. NCB will take over a 50.1% majority of the shares of CGIL. The funds managed by Portland Private Equity will hold just over 17%, and Edmund Gibbons Limited will retain a 31.98% shareholding. James Gibbons, director of DGL, expressed excitement for the new partnership as it strengthens commercial ties with two highly respected institutions that will bring wider opportunities for Clarion. He added it will enable us to expand our offerings locally, regionally, and globally. The Clarion brand will be unchanged, and we remain committed to Bermuda, our employees, and our clients, end quote. Final completion of the transaction is subject to the approval of the Minister of Finance. Stay with us. More news in tonight's AccuWeather forecast after the break.
You can count on us.
Fresh Purdue Value Pack chicken thighs or drumsticks only $1.99 per pound. All varieties of potatoes just $4.99 for a 5-pound bag. Dole pineapple slices for your Christmas ham only $1.89 for a 20-ounce tin. For your mac and cheese, Catelli macaroni just $1.89 for a 500-gram box. Tropicana premium orange juice only $5.49 for a 59-ounce bottle. Visit our website at www.marketplace.pm for more weekly specials.
You can count on us.
When you shop online, the cheapest, quickest, and easiest way to bring your packages into Bermuda is with U.S. Express at mailboxes.
I use them because I have a water sports business, and it's just now and then when I need to get a few things from, off of whatever company, Amazon or something. It's just such an easy connection with mailboxes.
The staff are fantastic. They call just to let me know that the package has arrived and I can come pick it up, and they're really good here.
Sign up for a U.S. Express account at www.mailboxesunlimited.com today.
Don't miss another exciting edition of Up Close with Colin Thompson, featuring Carlisle United and Bermuda international footballer Reggie Lamb, December 6th on ZFB TV 7 at 8 p.m. Watch as Lamb reflects on his career.
So I went from hero to villain in the space of 5 minutes.
That's on the next edition of Up Close with Colin Thompson, brought to you by title sponsor Island Construction Services and additional sponsors, Lindo's Group of Companies.
Welcome back. 25-year-old Justin Mathias is the youngest and newest Bermudian senator and deputy chairman of the One Bermuda Alliance. Mike Sharp reports.
Mathias, who is the chairman of the Future Bermuda Alliance, FBA, says it's all happening kind of fast.
It's been quite an experience. It's pretty fast. I've been FBA chair since about August 1st. So it's been about 4 months since I've really been involved in real politics. So for it to be 4 months, last week I had my swearing in at the Senate chambers, and so far it's been so good.
MSA graduate, newest and youngest OBA, and deputy chairman. I mean, you're coming in.
Yeah, I've taken up a lot of tasks. I don't take them lightly. The last 4 months has been a sort of rebuilding process. My team was, met with organizing the recent OBA conference. So in that process, we've been doing that behind the scenes. We've been doing other things behind the scenes, trying to rebuild the party. And for my future Bermuda Alliance members, I thought it was best that in order to facilitate the initiatives that we want to see in the party, that I had to step up and put my name forward for deputy chair of the party.
And how does the young politician view the party's new leader, Jean Atherton?
There were about 3 candidates that were up for the leadership role. For the FBA, we supported Jean Atherton as our person that we thought best suited for the leader. At the conference on November 18th, I think it was highlighted in her speech, her vision for the future and her overall commitment to mentoring the young people within our party, and not just the young people, new people that want to get involved in our party, to put them forward and to move the party forward into the future.
And I'm Mike Sharp with Bermuda Broadcasting News.
In court news, a man denied a charge of manslaughter today in the Supreme Court. 26-year-old Andrew Lake was arraigned during the monthly session on 3 counts, all alleged to have taken place on June the 1st of this year. He pleaded not guilty to unlawfully killing New Zealand national Catherine McKee and causing injury to her husband Arthur McKee by driving a powercraft in a dangerous manner. Lake also denies injuring Charlie Watson by dangerously driving the powercraft. The defendant is represented by Jerome Lynch QC and lawyer Kim White. Justice Charles Etta Simmons set a trial date for April the 3rd. Lake was bailed until his next court appearance on January the 8th, 2018. In other news, pharmacologist Dr. Marcia Williams is visiting the island as a guest lecturer at Bermuda College to promote the medicinal uses of the cannabis sativa plant. According to Dr. Williams, who works for the University of Technology in Jamaica, said there has been increased interest from pharmaceutical companies on the medical application of cannabis to treat illnesses such as diabetes, pain, and arthritis. Properties of the plant, she says, are valuable.
It has historical use as a medicine, and that there are actually products out there, formulations out there that have been registered and recognized all over the world, in Israel, in Canada, United States, in Jamaica. We had a scientist, a pharmacologist, who developed an eye drop for treatment of glaucoma. That was in the 80s, in the early 80s, and he also made another product for the use for treating asthma. So the use of marijuana is well established as a medicinal agent. Unfortunately, it's not all good story about marijuana, because we know about, and we grew up knowing about the recreational use and the bad effects that it has. And studies have proven that using marijuana, especially smoking it, because when you smoke it, you're getting a high concentration of the chemical within your system by that route. And there's one agent, the THC, which is psychotic, and if adolescents use, can actually cause underdevelopment of the brain.
But also, Dr. Williams moves to dispel myths around its uses.
Well, you mentioned cancer, and I want to dispel a myth. It's not for treating cancer. It does not decrease the tumor. It does not help cancer. It is used for the symptoms that cancer presents. You have excessive pain in cancer, and there's a receptor that the cannabis works on that will reduce the pain of cancer. That same receptor also causes nausea. Right? So stimulation of that receptor by one of the chemicals in cannabis can help to reduce nausea and vomiting. There's no scientific basis to say that this is a gateway drug. What you've seen is that person who use marijuana, they will go on to the opioids and harder cocaine and those other stuff. But it's not because of using marijuana, but because of the type of personalities. So if I'm willing to try a drug to get a high, I will go and try anything else, right? So it's not the drug itself that's going to cause you to want to use the harder stuff, but it's just your makeup, your personality.
And we'll have more from Dr. Williams in subsequent newscasts. Turning to weather news, sunny breaks with a few showers for our Saturday, but brighter conditions on Sunday. Here's the latest from AccuWeather headquarters.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
This AccuWeather forecast on ZBM is brought to you by our friends at the BF&M Insurance Group, and we are looking a little bit unsettled here for the next day or two. When we look at the Bermuda details, you can see there are some showers nearby. This is specifically the footprint of clouds, and the brighter colors where we have tall clouds. They're a little colder upstairs, and that's a sign of where we have some more significant development into the sky. These clouds are tall, and under some of those taller clouds we have some extra moisture, showers and thunderstorms, mainly showers. You can see the moisture is increasing from west to east, so the trend is wetter as we step deeper into the evening hours. You can see the showers already increasing off to the west, also a batch of showers off to the southeast. When we look at the details, current conditions around 69 to 70 degrees, pretty pleasant. Winds are very light. Humidity 65 to 70% across the island, and on the inside waves are only around a foot, but on the outside of the island reef we're dealing with 4 to 5 footers rolling at this point. So tonight there will be some showers, and it will become, after a quiet start to the evening, it will become breezy out there overnight tonight. That'll be a noticeable change. Tomorrow 72, some scattered showers nearby, and it will be a breezy setup, much breezier than we are right now. And those showers will be pushing on through. So we had a high tide early this morning. Low tide was at midday. High tide coming up 6:30 p.m. And then later on tonight, another low tide, setting the table for high tide early tomorrow morning once again. The Gateway forecast, we're running pleasantly chilly this Saturday into Toronto, New York, and Boston across the eastern part of North America. Atlanta, fairly mild, 68. Miami, 82. In London, they're dealing with some chilly weather, 44 there. So the other side, the east side of the pond, running a little bit nippy. And when we look across the Caribbean, there are some scattered showers, spotty thunderstorms, mainly showers though into Jamaica, Barbados, and into the southern Caribbean, into Trinidad and Tobago. No tropical threats though. In fact, hurricane season has ended, thankfully, after a rough one. At least we avoided any significant, huge trouble in Bermuda. Can't say the same every year. But this is a resilient place, and we've learned to change our building construction and so forth in Bermuda, so we do pretty well when hurricanes threaten. None of that now, though. We have showers in the forecast tonight into tomorrow, 72, I should say, for your high. And we're looking at low 70s. It'll be a little cooler into Tuesday, down to 69 for your high. There's a small chance of a stray sprinkle Sunday and Monday as we transition to that cooler time, but really most of that stretch, Sunday and Monday, will be fairly pleasant and rain-free. A little brighter than into Tuesday and Wednesday. So you can stay tuned and get some good music and also weather and news information on Ocean 89, Power 95, and Inspire 105.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
Christmas in Bermuda is a special time for most of us. Unfortunately, for some families in Bermuda, there is no warm Christmas. This year, many families will be in need. It's the 29th anniversary of the Lions Clubs of Bermuda and the Marketplace helping share the Christmas spirit, so let's help take care of each other. Shop at any Marketplace, shopping center, Modern Mart, or A1 stores and purchase extra tins and non-perishable items. Once you have purchased these items, place your food donations into Santa's bin located at the front of the store. The Lions Clubs will collect your food contributions and assemble them into hampers to be delivered to the families in need around the island. Christmas comes once a year. Help make it a special time for every family in Bermuda. Sponsored in part by the Bermuda Broadcasting Company and the Royal Gazette.
Well, Southlands may soon be listed as an official park under new amendments to the National Parks Act, according to the Public Works Minister, Colonel David Birch, who spoke with us at Botanical Gardens today on the proposed amendments to the act tabled in the House of Assembly last Friday.
The objectives of that are really mostly housekeeping, in the sense that there are a number of national parks in the country that were not listed as national parks. And so it was tidying up that aspect of the National Parks Act. The regulations actually provide for fees for using parks in the country, which surprisingly was not provided for previously in legislation. And so some of those fees that were charged were unlawful. We did make it retroactive so people can't come and get their money back. Certainly once it was discovered that there was not provision in the Act in 2016, nobody paid any more fees. And so what it is tidying up the act to be able to provide that if you're renting space within parks, that you have to now pay fees. It's not a profit-making thing. It's to cover the expenses of staff or what have you in terms of being able to make parks and beaches available for rent.
And speaking of making certain areas and official national parks, does that include Southlands? I know that was an issue.
Yes, it does. Southlands, I'm not sure if it was included in the Act, but what we've done is to tidy up and list all of those that are now considered national parks, and Southlands certainly is included.
In other news, it's not every day that we get the chance to turn your passion into a source of income. That became a reality for 26-year-old Mark Pryor after he was recognized as Entrepreneur of the Year at the Bermuda Economic Development Corporation's first Small Business Award night.
Owning a small business comes with large risk, but for firefighter Mark Pryor, that risk paid off when he took the top honor.
Just being in the room full of Bermudian entrepreneurs was humbling, and it was a good sign. Bermuda's bouncing back.
The young father is the owner of Bermuda Combat Club and sourced professional Brazilian fighter Marcus Tulio to train locals.
Jiu-jitsu and MMA has always been a passion of mine. When I was in college, I was hitting the weights, but I realized that wasn't helping me to fight. So I joined a jiu-jitsu team out there, and when I finished college, I came back. And Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, MMA didn't exist here.
More than 40 members to date have joined the club and climbing, also proving a hit amongst kids.
One of the arts that we highlight is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's a non-violent response to violence, and the kids love it. So if they're being bullied at school, you don't have to hit back. You can restrain them, you can use your dominant positions until help comes.
But getting to this stage, he says, was not without a solid support system at the Bermuda Economic Development Corporation.
And I laid everything out on the table, and they assessed it. They helped me fill in the gaps where I needed to be filled, and that gave me the confidence to take that final step. So I encourage any Bermudian out there, just, hey, if you have an idea, flesh it out, bring it to them, and they'll let you know if it's a sound idea or not. They'll let you know what you need to do, and ultimately the decision is yours. And you don't know until you try.
Mr. Pryor remained tight-lipped, though, about what's next after winning the prize.
It's something that everyone's going to be able to enjoy. It's going to be new, never before seen, never before done in Bermuda. And yeah, it's going to be good.
The BEDC awarded Ashley Stevens of Ashley's Lemonade as People's Choice. Chrysanthi Bartley won Female Entrepreneurship. Business of the Year went to Beach Boys Limited, and Most Enterprising Young Entrepreneur went to Saray Bean. And Alexandra Mosher won BEDC's Client of the Year. Jamal Simmons, Minister of Economic Development and Tourism, said there is proof that Bermudians have what it takes to reinvigorate our local economy.
And congratulations to all the winners. Mark, we're very proud of you. Turning to sports, Somerset Cricket Club have a new president. A new president was elected for Football Coaches Association, and an Englishman looks set to claim the Gosling Invitational Golf Tournament title. Earl Baisden brings us up to date with tonight's sports report.
The 2017 edition of the Gosling's Invitational came to an end at the Beaumont Hills Golf Club earlier today. Daniel Gaunt went into today's final round 5 strokes ahead of Bermuda's Kamiko Smith. Meanwhile, the Somerset Cricket Club have a new president. Fashan Blashat was elected, replacing outgoing President Alfred Mabry. Members thanked Mabry for his 7 years of leadership and his dedication to the Somerset Cricket Club. The Bermuda Football Coaches Association has a new president in Richard Todd, who was elected unopposed as former president Scott Morton decided to step down. In his first interview following the elections, Todd expressed his ideas for the future of the organization.
For me, the next steps would be expanding the offerings of our courses, maybe the introduction of an introduction to coaching course. Obviously, we've got a good number of B-licensed coaches, but what happens now with their development on the up end, we need to continue with coaching education for them, and then maybe just trying to diversify the delivery methods. I mean, it proves hard at times to get everybody's schedules to come together. So looking at things like webinars for special topics presentations, and then an online coaching course specifically for a Director of Coaching diploma, because we think that it's very important that we have the individuals in the clubs who have the skill sets to design and lead programs. So, that's the focus of what we're trying to do, which falls in line with the strategic plan that we are currently operating under.
3 young men from Bermuda have been selected to represent the Independent Schools Football Association. Najee Smith and Najee Brockington were selected to the Under-16 National Representative Camp at St. George Park, while Diego Richardson has been selected to the National Independent Schools Under-17 team. Round 3 of the 2017 Gosling's Invitational Golf Tournament took place at the Belmont Hills Golf Course. First round leader Daniel Gaunt from England continues to lead the field after his third round 4 under par 66 to end the day at 11 under par for the tournament. Gaunt's scorecard saw him card 6 birdies, 10 pars, and 2 bogeys. Following his 7 under par 64 in the second round, Kamiko Smith remains in second place after carding a third round 1 under par 69. Smith is at 5 under par overall. Brad Adamus from USA and David Breen from Canada are tied third at 4 under par, and a further stroke back is David Lawrence from USA and former winner Kent Fukushima from Canada. Day 4 of the XL Catlin Bermuda Squash Rackets Association Club Championships was semi-final night. In the men's open division, Nick Kine stayed on track to win yet another club championship title when he won his semi-final in straight games 11-9, 15-13, 11-1 over Christian Muldoon. Kine will face John Fletcher, who defeated Headley Farah 11-5, 11-9, 11-4 in the other semi-final. The ladies' open defending champion Rachel Barnes advanced to the final when she defeated Jane Craig 11-5, 11-9, 11-2, with Sarah Nicholson defeating Grace Eddy 7-11, 11-3, 11-5, 11-8 in the other ladies' semi-final. Ishan Birch competed in the Dam Nawaldi indoor horse jumping event in Germany. Competing in the CSI YH1 division, Birch competed on 2 horses in the same class. Birch competed in the 1.25 Table A class, finishing 4th riding Takai 4. They clocked a time of 63.55, but they had 4 penalty foul points. Birch and Columbine finished 49th, clocking a time of 71.74. They would also register 22 penalty foul points. Saltus Grammar School defeated Mount St. Agnes Academy 25-20 to win the Bermuda School Sports Federation's Middle School Boys Volleyball Tournament inside the MSA Gymnasium yesterday. Saltus came from 8 down to defeat Dalwood Middle School 25-22 in their semifinal, while MSA eased past Work Academy's number 1 team 25-14 in the other semifinal. The FIFA World Cup 2018 Russia draw was made today. These are the groups.
Mixed peel and farine, just $3.99 per pound for your Christmas baking. Certified Angus beef, fresh top sirloin roast, only $8.99 per pound. Heinz Crunchy and Tangy Piccalilli, just $2.99 for a 310-gram jar. Select varieties of stovetop stuffing, only $2.89 for a 6-ounce box. Select varieties of Sargento shredded cheese, just $4.29 for a 7-ounce package. All stores open Monday through Saturday until 10 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us.
Don't miss another exciting edition of Up Close with Colin Thompson, featuring Carlisle United and Bermuda international footballer Reggie Lamb, December 6th on ZFB TV 7 at 8 p.m. Watch as Lamb reflects on his career.
So I went from hero to villain in the space of 5 minutes.
That's on the next edition of Up Close with Colin Thompson, brought to you by title sponsor Island Construction Services and additional sponsors, Lindo's Group of Companies.
The time goes so quickly. That's our newscast for tonight. I'm Diane Brewer. Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Good night.